What up, YouTube? Big Lou East Coast Review back in with another review, and today we're here to do a review on the Rogue mod. That's right, the Rogue mod. Let's do an up close on this real quick so you can see the beauty of the machining on this device. Very nice. I've got the Goon vape, the 528 Customs Goon on here with my Suck It Drip Tips by Dr. Handcrafted on Instagram. Real nice drip tip, real nice device, real nice cap, real nice RDA. This whole setup is really nice, okay? This is a competition mod, okay? When I say competition mod, I'm saying this is probably the safest competition mod on the market, okay? Now, this company, when they designed these mods, they designed it with the idea safety first. Okay, and what I'm gonna discuss about is the safety features on here. First off, you got 4 vent holes at the very top neck of this tube mod. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, you have 4 vent holes up top. Now, they put a special kind of spring in here to reduce heat and to eliminate voltage drop. Okay, the spring that they put in here is, they call it on their site, a medical grade polyfiber coil spring. What does that mean? Well, to most of you, you have no idea what the hell that means, okay? And I'm going to show you, all right? So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove my RDA, and then I'm going to take a set of tweezers that I have, because there are 2 holes at the bottom button here. And I just like to insert my tweezers into the bottom button just to get the button started. And now I could back out my button, okay? The machining on this thing is flawless. It's just flawless. The threading is just so buttery smooth, it's insane. The width of the copper in here is thick, okay? It's pretty thick. Let me see how thick it is actually. Okay, we've got 4 millimeters in thickness of the tube itself. Okay, the tube itself is 4 millimeters thick. Okay, the threading on it, as you can see, my threading, I keep it clean at all times. Okay, I always ensure that I have a good connection, so I clean my threads with a toothbrush and rubbing alcohol. I go in there with the toothbrush that I'm never going to use again, dip it in rubbing alcohol, and I clean the threads. Why do I do that? Well, I always want to maintain a good, clean connection. This way I have good, clean power coming through. Nothing to disturb the power as it's traveling through the RDA and the resistance of the coil, which in my case, there's next to no resistance in the coil. So I want to have good conductivity. Now, this tube, it's got a little weight to it, okay? It's got a little bit of weight to it, but I don't mind it so much because I like a heavy mechanical mod. Now, as far as the weight, what does that matter to most of you? Well, to me, it does matter because I like a nice, solid tube mod, especially if I'm going to spend $160 or $180 or $195 on a tube mod. I want to make sure that the mod feels like it's built of some sort of quality. So usually a heavier brass, a thicker, heavier brass, makes me feel comfortable that $195 isn't going on something that weighs in at 20 ounces or 30 ounces. Because then I'll be like, what the fuck am I holding here? What is this thing? Now, as far as the height of this tube mod, we are looking at 86 millimeters in height. And the width of it is 25 millimeters in diameter. Okay? Not bad. Okay, so that means if I put a Kennedy 24 on here, the mech mod is going to be a little wider than the Kennedy 24, which I'm fine with. I don't mind that at all, okay? Now, if we look at the button construction, it comes with a Delrin, a white Delrin that sits within the button itself, or the switch, and that gives it the gap between the firing pin and the actual negative of the tube mod. So this way you're not actually creating a dead man switch where it's just going to auto fire, okay? This will just keep the distance between the actual contact and the Delrin itself, so the battery sits on the Delrin and doesn't make contact with your copper. I like to use tweezers once again because there are 2 holes within the contact itself. I stick the tweezers in those 2 holes, and then I can turn my copper contact. So now when I'm doing this, I hold the switch very strongly because there is a compressed spring in there. And as I open this, the spring's going to want to run. You can see it's starting to expand. Now, the switch construction consists of this base with this square block on it. The reason why there's a square block on it is simply because they don't want the switch to travel left or right while you're using it, meaning that it won't get unscrewed or undone while you're using the actual switch. This is the medical grade polyfiber spring, okay? The reason why they use this spring is so you don't get a jolt of electricity going through your finger, and it minimizes voltage drop, okay? So it's a very strong spring, actually. There's a lot of pressure in this spring, basically, to compress it. And as I said, the top part of the switch has this white Delrin right here. The white Delrin is just simply to separate the contact, which the contact sits in that little space in there, basically. Very strongly squeeze and hold, grab your screw, pop it in, and start threading it on there. That's why the tweezers are important for me. It makes life so much easier for me. Goes on tightly. Now, it has a very short throw on it, okay? And if you want to check out the inner tube and what it looks like, I'll be happy to show you that. You can see the threading is very nice in there, and there is a ledge, so it does get thicker, the walls, as you progressively go into the tube, okay? So where the threading is, it is a little wider, and then it tapers in, so you have no battery rattle. And that's good, because nobody likes battery rattle, especially on something that costs $200. So, you take our battery, positive side in. Reason why positive side in is because your vent holes are at the top of this mechanical tube mod. If this thing decides it's going to vent right at the top. And the way this mod was designed, that if in the event it does vent, it will vent through the vent holes. It's not going to blow your button out to Kingdom Come or anything like that. It's going to stay within the tube itself. It is to withstand the amount of power that comes out of a battery when it vents. So it's not going to blow up like a pipe bomb or anything like that. It's going to stay contained with the device, and whatever venting that's going to happen is going to vent through the 4 vent holes on the mechanical mod. So safety was the #1 priority when they created this device, basically. Okay? Now, the threads, completely quiet, completely smooth. It doesn't grab onto anything. It doesn't crunch. Doesn't do any of that, okay? It's a hybrid connection up top. Very nice threading. Very nice threading. On the 510, it doesn't make any sound. You could thread on an RDA. You don't hear anything, any metal like spinning or anything like that. And it just hits like a champ every single time. It does what it's supposed to do, and I feel safe using it because safety was the first thing in mind in building this competition mod, okay? I get no lightning bolts in the finger, and it fires like a motherfucker, okay? Now, I got the plain polished brass one, okay? Which means there's a lot of upkeep because brass patinas. But keep in mind, they do etchings. And we're going to check out that site right now. We're going to go to his Instagram. You're going to see his laser etching designs that he has on all his tube mods, which are fucking dope. The laser etched versions of these competition mods are 1 of 1s. And considering J Mark is an actual artist, and previous to all vaping, he was making jewelry with his etching designs. So these tubes are considered his artworks. So we're going to check out the laser etchings right now. what I wanted to do is just read a little excerpt from their website, okay, explaining what they're about, okay, and then we'll just close this off, basically. So what we got here is the Rogue Mod USA was developed for several reasons. As the vape community has grown, so have the frustrations and disappointments with the hardware we use, not to mention the confusion and misunderstanding as to the function and performance of such devices. Along with these issues, safety has become the most important concern of this competition mod. In the unlikely event a battery should vent, the device must be designed to safely release the energy through proper ventilation. In addition to safety, performance is the second largest focal point of our mods. With the use of the finest American-sourced materials in conjunction with true American craftsmanship, maximum performance is achieved. We also have incorporated the use of a medical-grade polyfiber spring, providing a smooth throw, omitting heat transfer and voltage drop. With extensive testing and research, we are proud to offer the Rogue USA mod. It does come in naval brass or 7075 aerospace aluminum. It has an isolated switch assembly, medical-grade polyfiber coil spring, and made in America from 100% American-sourced materials. Okay, so just so you guys understand, a lot of thought went into making this tube mod. And yeah, it's just a tube, and it's just a shiny tube. And you've seen what the laser etchings are, and those are like artwork tubes that are actually retaining value and gaining value each and every day because they're one-of-one pieces. Now, I love this device, and I'll tell you why. I like the weight. I like the way it feels. I like the way it throws. I like the button. There might be about a half-second delay from hitting the button to firing, which I don't mind because I know I have a quality product, okay? For 180 bucks for the brass, you know, it is naval brass, and everybody loves oxygen-free naval standard brass. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. It's a good product. But is it right for you for 180 bucks? It's mainly up to you. I feel confident and happy knowing that they took the time out to really exercise and look into the safety features of how this thing should properly vent. If in the event it were to vent, I like to know that I'm vaping on a device that's safe. The polyfiber spring in here takes away a lot of the voltage drop and the hot button issues. But you can still obtain a hot button on here if you don't clean your threads. Maintenance and upkeep on any mechanical mod you use today is very important, whether it's an Avid Life mod or continuous current mod or a Rogue mod or a TVL mod or whatever mod that's out there. Maintenance of the threads is very important. Always clean your threads with like rubbing alcohol or toothpaste or a mild dish soap and warm water, and use a toothbrush. Something not too abrasive where it's going to scratch, but it's going to clean. Then use a microfiber cloth, get in there, clean out the threads completely, and put a small drop of 3M multi-purpose oil just to lubricate the threads. Put it on, your threads will stay clean. If in the event you need to clean it in the future, stick a microfiber in there again, wipe it out. The 3M will keep it lubricated and prevent it from patinaing quickly, okay? So maintenance is very important on these things. Clean your 510 threads up top, clean your threading on the inside. If you want to put a little Noah Lux on the inside threads, you can do that as well. Noah Lux is just basically a cream that has metallic particles in it, and it increases conductivity because within the metal particles itself, it'll help transfer continuity easier. And the Noah Lux also lubricates the grooves and prevents it from patinaing as well. My only issue with Noah Lux is that it has a slight smell to it, which is kind of disturbing. Almost like a machine oil type of smell that I don't like, okay? And it gets a little messy also, the Noah Lux. So you got to really apply that very thinly and in small amounts, basically. That's about it. Do I like this device? Yes, I do. 180 bucks was paid for this device, but, you know, I'm feeling confident that it's a safe competition mod to use. I could build very low on it, which I have been building very low on it, and I feel comfortable using it. And I love the throw of the button. Hit the button, it fires nicely. Right now I got a parallel 22 gauge 5 wrap, which is a little bit risky of a build, but a lot of people, you know, don't mind it. I don't mind vaping that low. It's a very low build, but it does work very well. And if I usually have this type of build on any kind of mech mod, usually those mech mods get pretty hot pretty quick. This just gets slightly warm. So I'm not so concerned, really. It just gets warm, and that's it. Such a good vape, such nice control, and it feels so nice and smooth. In your hands, it's so very smooth. I know that doesn't sound right, but you know what? It just feels nice in the hand, and the throw in the button is nice. And there's only threading on the inside and nowhere else on the device except the 510 connection itself. If you're going to use any type of RDA on here, please use an RDA with an elongated pin. This way, you're not, you know, risking a short circuit of any kind. But if it does cause a short circuit that leads to venting, at least I know this thing is safe enough where it's not going to blow into a million pieces. This thing will withstand the power of a vent. It'll contain it and release the pressure through the vent holes. So that's nice to know, you know. So the only thing that escapes out of here is just the gas that escapes out of the vent holes, and that's it. So it's not a pipe bomb. It's not an explosive. It's not going to hurt anybody nearby, you know. And just build safely, build the right way, and you won't have any issues of venting. From me to YouTube, peace out. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to these videos. I'm out.